On the Newshour tonight, Shafqat Saeed, Col Shafqat Saeed and Group Captain Sultan M Hali, Air Vice Marshal Abid, Sushil Pandit from Delhi, General G.D. Bakshi, Sushant Sareen and Maroof Raza completing our panel. And viewers with 158,713 tweets and about 1.5 billion Twitter impressions, this interview, the talking point of the week. I just don't understand for the life of me, and Colonel Shafqat Saeed, you can take that to start with first. Couldn't Pakistan come up with any better response than to say we are perplexed, or by saying that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's logic is beyond perception? I mean, is this all that you have to say? Because Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been unflinchingly clear. He says, who do I talk to at all in Pakistan? Do I talk to the government or do I talk to the other players? Please, why couldn't you come up with a more real, comprehensive response to the straight comments by the Prime Minister? First of all, you took 2 days to respond. I don't know what you were doing for 2 days. After 2 days, you say that we are perplexed. We don't understand. What is it that you don't understand, Colonel Shafqat Saeed, when the Prime Minister of India has been so direct? And we can start with Shafqat Saeed and Group Captain Sultan M Hali, then we can get any of our Indian panelists to respond. Please go ahead, sir.
The interview of Narendra Modi Sahab was absolutely embarrassment for India, and it spoke of his inability to act as a regional leader and fulfill his the pledge that people has given him in shape of mandate that he has from India. And I think that he could have steered this region into a better course if he had been more sensible and more he had a better perception. And Sartaj Aziz is absolutely correct in saying what he has said, and it is beyond any understanding and any comprehension what he said.
No,
that whom he is supposed to talk. He spoke not like a Prime Minister of India. He spoke like anchor of some private channel.
Okay, now, you know, I don't understand your response at all, Colonel Shafqat Saeed. But that's not the issue.
Understand this.
The issue is India's Prime Minister, and Maroof can come in. It's an open debate. India's Prime Minister has put the onus on Pakistan that go ahead, clarify your position vis-a-vis terror, and please tell us who should I be talking to in your country. After 48 hours, should Nawaz Sharif not come out and make it clear that the Indian Prime Minister is asking who should he speak to? He should say, please speak to me. But the problem, what's necessary?
His interview did not warrant any sort of response.
I don't understand, Shafqat Saeed. You started, I did not interrupt you, but the moment I'm saying something, you're interrupting me. So please let me complete, I request you. You see, in a normal situation, the Prime Minister of India, in decent language, is saying, if I talk to Pakistan, who on earth do I talk to? Right? Now, the normal thing, Maroof, would be that Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, if he is his own man, the problem is that he's not, should come out and say, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, you should only be speaking to me. I call the shots. But he's not been able to say that. Instead, the Foreign Minister, in a half-confused state, says, we are perplexed. We don't understand. What is it that you don't understand? Maroof, please.
No, he was very deliberate. He was very clear.
No, he was very clear. I think the Prime Minister of India was very clear this time. So go ahead.
Arnab. Yeah. No, Aziz was very clear.
No, I think the Prime Minister was very clear.
May I request?
Prime Minister was not knowing whom to talk to.
Khan Sahab, may I request?
Ji, farmaiye.
May I request a little patience from you, sir? There are 4 or 5 points. The first is, you on one side say that the Prime Minister's remarks didn't warrant a response. But then why did Mr. Sartaj Aziz now finally respond after 48 hours? The second question is
that's
that the Prime Minister says that I do not know who I should be engaging with. Now it is, sir, please give me the patience of 2 minutes, sir. The Prime Minister says I don't know who I should be engaging with. Now, this has been a dilemma not just for Indian governments, but several other Western governments who they should be engaging with. The Americans seem to have come over it to some extent when they come to from the US to Pakistan, spend 4 hours with your army chief in Rawalpindi and spend 1 hour with your civilian leadership in Islamabad, because they know who they should be engaging with.
Wrong.
You insist that we should engage with the elected civilian government. If we have to engage, sir, please hear me, sir. If we have to engage with the civilian government in Pakistan, then why is the Prime Minister of Pakistan along with his team being briefed by the Rawalpindi brass in the Rawalpindi headquarters on foreign affairs issues when it should be happening the other way? In all democracies, it happens the other way around. In your quasi-democracy, the military sets the agenda and sends the civilian outs to do engagement with anybody else. And the Arnab, my central point is Mr. Sartaj Aziz's point that we, Arnab, Mr. Sartaj Aziz has said, that we've done enough against terrorism. You may be battling terrorism in the AFPAC border. What have you done to address our concerns on terrorism under UN Resolution 1373 when you should be putting wraps on those terrorist groups which are disrupting the talks process? You have done nothing about it, sir. And therefore the concern in India, how do we move forward when we see no movement from your end?
Maroof, let us be very, very specific on one point today, and please understand that this is a very embarrassing situation for the Pakistan people. It is an embarrassing situation for the Pakistan government. It should be an embarrassing situation even for the ISI. Because of one reason, and I really hope, I do sincerely believe that unlike the Pakistan government, at least our panelists from Pakistan on the Newshour tonight will learn to respond to a question. Otherwise, all of this country is watching tonight and they are seeing 3 Pakistani panelists unable to answer to one specific question. And that question is this. The Prime Minister of India has asked you a question. And the Prime Minister's question is this. Who do I talk to in your country? Do I talk to your civilian government? Or do I talk to your other actors, meaning your terrorist military nexus? Islamabad has maintained an embarrassing silence on the Prime Minister's stern question to you. Your advisor for foreign affairs comes out and deflects the onus, says, I want to talk about Kashmir. How is Kashmir a question to the issue of you having actors other than the elected representatives of the people calling the shots in the country? How is Kashmir a response to the charge of dual power centers? The Prime Minister of India puts an accusation against you that you have dual power centers. You are rattled, you are nervous, you are silent, and you have nothing to say. I am asking you tonight, do you have something to say on why the Prime Minister of your country is silent? Why does the Prime Minister of Pakistan even now not come out and say, of course the Prime Minister of India should be speaking to me? Will he get sacked by the ISI chief? Will Nawaz Sharif get sacked by your army chief? What is the truth? Come out with the truth, Group Captain Sultan Ali. Group Captain Sultan Ali on the debate, and I see GD Bakshi wants to come in. Go ahead. And by the way, the debate is open. Feel free to respond to each other. And I really hope the Pakistani guests now respond to that question. Yes, please.
Okay, Arnab, first of all, congratulations are in order for conducting an interview in which you exposed your own Prime Minister and you showed us.
Please respond to my question.
One notch.
Please respond to my question.
He has risen only one notch above the tea boy, Narendra Modi, who used to sell tea on the railway station. He has not come beyond that.
I think you should respond with facts, and I'll tell you one thing. We are proud of the fact that we have a Prime Minister who's if you have a Prime Minister, any Prime Minister who can come from humble background and be the Prime Minister of a country, I think it is something to be proud of, unlike your country where you need to be some kind of a quasi-feudal lord to rise to the highest position. Come back to the subject now. What is the subject? Why is your Prime Minister silent? My question is, why is your Prime Minister silent? Why is your Prime Minister silent?
What he is.
Why is your Prime Minister not opening his mouth? Why is your Prime Minister not opening his mouth? Why is he not speaking? Why does the Prime Minister of Pakistan not say tonight, Mr. Prime Minister of India, you should be speaking to me?
From his illness, and you know that he has a spokesperson to speak to, and his spokesperson Sartaj Aziz has already spoken. So listen to the words of Sartaj Aziz, which are the gospel.
Even Sartaj Aziz did not.
Narendra Modi has taken over.
No.
Even the day since Narendra Modi has taken over.
General
over.
Bakshi,
There has been no clarity in your approach.
Group Captain.
Prime Minister
Captain,
Nawaz Sharif
Group
came
might
to
get a
attend
better
the
perspective
coronation
of
of
the
Modi,
debate
and he was
if you listen
told
to the
that
other
you will
side.
not
Captain.
speak to the Kashmiris.
Group
He
Cap-
obliged. The
Group
first debate between
Group
the foreign
Captain, can I
ministers of
kindly-
Pakistan and
Captain,
India
the
was
fact of the
scuttled.
matter is
Please
this
listen to
tonight.
me. Please let me finish. Sir, have patience for
Kindly.
2 minutes. 2 minutes only, I ask you. You are the ones who scuttled because Ajit Doval is calling your foreign policy short.
Respond
Ajit
to
Doval,
us,
who
please.
happens
What are
to
you
be
saying?
your national terrorism advisor. So once you get your act in order,
National
we will
Security
tell you
Advisor,
who should
sir.
be
You are
talking to.
obsessed with terrorism. He's the National Security
National
Advisor. Only you have a
terrorism
National
advisor.
terrorism
You have a
advisor.
national
We are
terrorism
obsessed
I think
advisor.
that was a slip of the
You
tongue.
only how to
I can
carry out
understand.
terrorism attacks in Pakistan.
Now,
And he- and
I
he's
suggest,
proud to admit
I
that.
suggest
It
Group
is on
Captain,
YouTube.
Arnab,
Group
can we
Captain,
kindly
Group Captain
have
Sultan
some
Ali.
other view apart from the group captains?
Go ahead, Group Captain Sultan Ali, compose yourself. General Bakshi, please respond. Why is the Prime Minister of Pakistan quiet?
you
Why is
know,
the office of the Prime Minister
the
of
group
Pakistan
captain-
quiet? Why
the
are they
group
not being able to
captain,
respond to
Arnab,
Prime Minister Modi? Go on. Yeah.
The group captain very rightly pointed out that unfortunately the democratically elected Prime Minister of Pakistan is recovering from a heart attack courtesy the Pakistan army. He has been reduced to a lame duck Prime Minister. Our Prime Minister made sincere efforts. He has invested tremendous political capital in his outreach to his democratically elected counterpart in Pakistan. And for his pains, what did we get? Every time he made an outreach, when he was being sworn in, he invited Nawaz Sharif here. And thereafter, there has been one set of betrayals and backstabs from the Pakistani deep state. The military ISI complex has gone out of his way to show to the world that Nawaz Sharif is nothing more than a puppet. And today, he is nursing a heart attack courtesy the Pakistan army and the ISI, who have shown to the world that they call the shots behind the scene, that they will not
and if I were
let
to say,
any peace overture
Bakshi,
fructify.
Obsessed with the
They
Pakistan
will
army
stab
and
you in the
ISI.
back
You
again
have
and
to bring
again.
them into the debate every few minutes. How were they in the intersection?
They haunt you.
Sir, let
Because they are there. They are the elephant in the room. That is the problem. They are the problem, group captain.
They are
Please
not the problem.
understand
To you,
that.
they appear
No,
to
no,
be
why
the
Peace
don't
would
you-
have
no,
broken
why
out
don't you-
between
you are
the
so
two
obsessed.
countries.
You are so obsessed with
Years
the
ago.
for Pakistan army.
the issue
that
tonight
you
is
have to
this.
bring them in every debate.
Viewers, 1 minute, one minute, just a
I
minute,
have pity
just
for
a
the
minute, just a
Pakistan
minute.
army.
There is a
They are
context.
the impediment in
There is a
design.
context. There is a context
They
of
are
what
the
is going
only
on tonight.
impediment in your
And
malicious
by the way, I throw into the dustbin.
malicious design.
I throw into the dustbin the bogus beyond perception theory. The advisor of the Foreign Affairs Ministry of Pakistan, I see your hand go up, Sushil, coming to you, saying Pakistan is not shying away from dialogue with India, and the Indian Prime Minister's logic in this regard is beyond perception. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said you have a dual power center that is functioning in Pakistan. It is time, as a result of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's comments, it is time as a result, I'm going on and on about it because you don't show a spine.
Observation.
I am going on and on about it because you don't show that you have a spine. You are an invertebrate as far as your civilian leadership standing is concerned.
Which has stood up to you for 70
and Colonel
years.
Shafqat Saeed,
It is this spine
Colonel
which
Shafqat
is troubling
Saeed,
you.
the Prime Minister
I'm
of
sorry.
India, the Prime Minister of India has come out and told you on your face that you
He
are
has
a
not
country
lived up
with
to the
two
occasion.
power centers. Why don't you? Why
He has
doesn't
fallen far short of it.
आपकी सिविलियन लीडरशिप कहां पे छुपी हुई है? आज स्पाइन दिखाए, हिम्मत दिखाए, आके कहे डुअल पावर सेंटर्स नहीं है हमारे देश में।
आप लोगों
चुप क्यों है? भारत के प्रधानमंत्री ने आपको खुल के बोल दिया है कि आपके दो पावर सेंटर्स हैं। तो मैं आपसे जनाब पूछ रहा हूं कि आपकी देश की सिविलियन लीडरशिप ऑस्ट्रिच लाइक एटीट्यूड लेके सर को कहां पे इन द सैंड करके चुप क्यों हो गई है? बोल क्यों नहीं पा रही है? कुछ आवाज नहीं निकल रही है
आपकी हैसियत ही
उनको,
नहीं
वो
है
बोल
कि
क्यों
आप
नहीं रहे?
किसी डायलॉग में पाकिस्तान के साथ टेबल के अक्रॉस बैठे
why I
और यही वजह है कि
any
आप ऊट-पटांग
self-respecting
बातें
country.
करते हैं। और आप बातें करते हैं कि हम किससे बात करें। उसकी वजह यह है कि आपके पास बात करने के लिए कुछ है नहीं है।
Shafqat Saeed, why simple question, and all the people of India are asking you that question, that why don't you come out and say that Prime Minister Narendra
People of
Modi
India know what Narendra Modi has done to India.
No, why
everybody
doesn't
knows
he
what
speak
he's
to us?
doing in
Shafqat
Kashmir.
Saeed is on the
and
debate.
What has happened to Kashmir
Abid
after
wanted to
BJP
come in.
has
Sushil
entered its
Pandit on the
politics.
debate. Go ahead straight.
Yes,
I find this response of the Pakistani government straight.
politics across India, right?
Yes.
Everybody is reaping the fruit of BJP politics across India. I know that. And what has happened in Kashmir, it is the fruit of BJP politics.
I just want to know where your civilian leadership is. कहाँ है? कहाँ है? कहाँ है वो?
The civilian
आप चुप
leadership
क्यों हो
is
गए?
developing a heart attack.
Nobody knows.
Courtesy. It's a very sad fact.
It's a very
Arnab,
strange situation
that
you are.
the democratically elected
Arnab,
Prime Minister
let me
of Pakistan
answer your question.
is not allowed to function.
Let me answer your
The whole
question.
democracy has been reduced to a military orchestrated farce.
I have a slightly different take, Arnab, here.
Yes, please. Sushil
I
Pandit.
feel sorry for the people
Yes.
of Pakistan.
Why don't you let
Sushil
me
Pandit and
answer
Abid
your
Rao.
question.
Sushil Pandit and Abid Rao. Yes, Abid Rao and Sushil Pandit.
Okay.
Mr. Abid Rao,
The
may I?
First question is, since January 15th, the secretary-level talks have been stalled by India. Has your Prime Minister exhausted all other levels and options to talk to Pakistan? You have a foreign minister,
says,
we
who
have
do
a
I
foreign
talk
minister.
to?
The secretary-level
He
talks
says, who do I
are
talk
at
to?
a bureaucratic level. There are a
says,
lot
who
of
do I talk
times
to?
when there are interim elections.
He
there
says,
is
who do I talk to?
You talk to government of Pakistan. It is
Which
very much in
government of
place.
Pakistan?
If American government
is
can
the
come to the
Which government?
GHQ,
That's
so can the
exactly what the
Indian.
Prime Minister is asking. What Sushant
So
Sareen
can the Indian government.
Sushil Pandit.
If you are serious and sincere about the whole
Sir,
thing.
let me tell you, one second.
You are cheating
Abid
the
Rao.
whole
Just a
process
minute.
of-
Abid
You
Rao,
are
listen.
cheating the whole
Abid
system
Rao,
of,
Abid Rao, please.
negotiation. Yes.
Abid Rao, listen. Abid Rao, please listen. Please be reasonable. Just give me 1 minute. I'll explain the situation that is happening to you. By the way, tonight, viewers, please see. I am asking one question and again and again and again to our Pakistani friends.
My question is very
to them
simple.
is, Air Vice Marshal Abid Rao,
That you have to talk.
Air Vice Marshal Abid Rao,
I
listen.
mean,
Air Vice Marshal
Pathankot is
Abid
one.
Rao.
I would have agreed to your thing. Listen to me. Let me
Abid Rao,
complete.
where is your
We would have
civilian
agreed to your Pathankot allegation. What was Mr. Kulbhushan Yadav doing in Balochistan in April? Why is your government quiet on that?
How are the two
This
related?
series of terrorism that you are
Abid
exporting
Rao,
started with Sarabjit
what
Singh in
prevents you from
1986
accepting the truth
and it
of
continues
Pathankot?
till
How is
today.
it connected
You are
with
exporting
Kulbhushan?
terrorism to Pakistan.
Okay, here's a question.
Raw, your state actor,
Why has
NSA
your
chief,
government-
Mr. Abid
Rajit
Rao,
Duval,
how
he is
is
a bigger criminal than Hafiz
Kulbhushan
Saeed
Yadav
and the other
Abid
Pakistanis.
Rao,
He has created policy and we approve of
Abid
that.
Rao, Sushil Pandit, please.
You
Yeah,
should
Sushil
have the
Pandit.
courage to own that
Sushil
man,
Pandit.
and it is
Mr.
that
Abid
reason
Rao,
why Pakistan doesn't take you
before
seriously.
you find, Mr. Abid Rao, before you start hunting for alibis,
You hand over
on
Rajit Duval to us, we will
Pathankot,
give you Hafiz Saeed. I can give you the commitment. You give us your NSA advisor.
No. We are not sitting here to trade in terrorists or subversives or terror groups.
You may
we are
not
here
be,
to get some clarity.
because you are on back foot.
We are here to get some
Since
clarity,
April,
sir.
Your government is on back foot. Our government is
Just
very
a
decent
moment.
not to talk so aggressively as your government does.
Let me
You
make
don't
your
want
day,
to talk
sir.
at secretary level, you don't want to talk at foreign minister level.
I have a slightly
and you
different
straight away
take
say
on this.
because our prime minister is
While
not.
our Prime Minister expressed,
Sushil Pandit.
while our Prime Minister did express his inability to find the right
If I was
audience
an
in
advisor
Pakistan,
to your prime minister, I would have said, put Pakistan on back foot, send your secretary level for talks over there and
Just a moment.
initiate the process. Once it comes to prime minister level, then maybe you can embarrass Pakistan if what you are saying is correct.
I think Sushil Pandit must
Of
be given
course,
an
it
opportunity
hasn't
to
been
respond to you. Now, sir, go ahead. I'm listening
Yes.
to both sides. Sushil Pandit, go on. Sushil Pandit,
Just
Maroof
a moment.
Raza, come into the debate, please.
Yes.
Feel free. Sushil Pandit, yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes.
Sushil Pandit,
Okay.
Sushant
This-
Sareen, Maroof Raza, feel free to come in, please. I still haven't got an
Arnab,
answer to my
the
basic
whole
question
world
by
on
the
why
name
the
of
civilian
peace
government of
process.
Pakistan has been
You don't
unable to
want your
respond to
foreign
Prime
secretary
Minister
to
Modi
come. You don't
for
want your
48
foreign
hours
secretary to
running,
come.
please.
You
Yes,
don't
please.
want to
Arnab,
be
while-
clear on all
Yeah.
subjects.
while there are
You are doing
I have-
terrorism in Pakistan.
I have
you
one
have been
question.
caught.
Sushil Pandit,
You
go
are
on.
back
Several
foot and
constructs
therefore
about Pakistan.
You are embarrassed
Who
and
do
you are
we
trying
talk
to be
to?
more aggressive.
Do we talk
It's
to the
Pakistan's
civilian
decency, we don't
administration? Do
respond
we
on
talk
our
to the
media.
military leadership, or do we talk to these
In your
Sunni
last
terror
1
groups
year of
who
Manmohan
are
Singh's regime,
several times
your own people said don't
described
talk to
as
him
the
because the
non-state
government may
actors?
change. And you
See, my
reduce your
hunch is-
prime minister, the biggest democracy, so-called allegedly biggest democracy.
Sir,
you didn't want
Mr.
people to
Abid
talk to
Rao,
your prime
just a
minister then.
moment.
Once again,
Just
I'm
a
asking,
moment.
repeating
Let
one
me make
question.
your day slightly easier. Arnab, we must know that Prime Minister of Pakistan wrote to 17 governments across the world to stop India from getting into NSG. This Prime Minister, who cannot open his mouth because he is recovering from a surgery,
You used Russia in
wrote to
50s
17
put a
Prime
veto
Ministers
against
across the
Kashmir
world.
resolution. You have was lobby against our F-16s. What the hell are you people
Aziz
doing
is
that
on
you want us to
record.
be nice to you?
After the Seoul
Yes, we are on
meeting,
record, we
Sartaj
admit it.
Aziz mentioned that we have been able to stop India from getting into NSG. So
Yes,
this is the
we will
role
do
of
it
the
again.
civilian government.
We will do
there.
it again.
Let me
because
finish.
you are not
Let me
stopping
make
your
my point,
anti-Pakistan
sir.
activities.
Let me make my point. You never stood up and
You
said
stopped
that
our
we also
F-16
had an
deal.
application and we failed to
They
get into
didn't
NSG.
matter.
You said we have stopped
You think we
India
are
into getting
blind
into
or they are
NSG.
fools?
Sir, just a moment. You had your own application to get into NSG. You didn't tell Pakistan as to what happened to that
I think
do
we're
that.
moving away from the subject.
was your
Sushant
problem
Sareen on
with
the
our
debate.
F-16?
Sushant Sareen and Shafqat Saeed.
What was your
I think we
problem
are
with our
moving away. I'm getting
F-16?
Shafqat Saeed. Sushant Sareen and Shafqat Saeed, Maroof Raza back to the debate. Gentlemen, there is only one question on the Newshour tonight.
He said
And
that
that question
Pakistan
once again, Shafqat Saeed is
Pakistan did not
Shafqat
block
Saeed.
the whole world.
Shafqat Saeed, I'm
The world
asking.
don't trust you.
Shafqat Saeed, 1 second. Look to your left, look to your right, look above you, look below you. Do you find your government anywhere? Where is your government? The Prime Minister of India has one Prime
I
Minister
ask you
of
the
India.
same question.
Prime Minister of
After
India
the
has
NSG
put a straight
rejection,
question to you. आपकी सरकार कहाँ है भाई? Shafqat Saeed, आपको बताता हूँ मैं. India is in the missile control technology regime. You can't even dream of it. We are almost there in the NSG. And on November 30th, 2015, Prime Minister Modi met Nawaz Sharif in Paris on the sidelines of the climate summit. On December 7, 2015, NSG level talks took place in Bangkok. In an unprecedented gesture, the Prime Minister on his way back from Lahore and Russia made a pit stop goodwill tour in Lahore to meet Nawaz Sharif. 8 days later, you attacked Pathankot. On March 17, 2016, despite Pakistan making very little movement on Pathankot and 2611, we agreed to hold foreign ministerial level talks with Pakistan in Nepal.
Statement that Pakistan is not involved in this.
Now, Group Captain Sultan Ali. Group Captain Sultan Ali. You have used language.
External Minister
You have used
statement दिए भाई.
You have used language.
पठानकोट के ऊपर
You have used language on 1 second. I'm saying something to Group Captain Sultan Ali.
Language को छोड़ो.
Group Captain Sultan Ali, you have used language on the program that reveals your true nature is unbecoming of someone who says he was an army officer. This is the kind of language.
Air Force.
This is, Air Force officer, whatever. The kind of language that you have used on the program this evening is utterly, totally disgraceful. You lost your sense of composure when presented with facts on the program, and you resorted to low-level, vituperative abuse. When asked what you had used as a form of abuse, you tried to cover your tracks by changing the word which you said. This is exactly the kind of duality that your military establishment often shows in all kinds of dealings and relationships. So you are using this kind of filthy language. I can ask you to leave my program right now, but consider it a favor from me that I will not descend to your level. Now I go back to the subject. Sushant Sareen is back on the debate. Where is the Prime Minister of Pakistan? When the Prime Minister of India says that please tell me who I should be dealing with you or somebody else, anyone would respond equally in turn saying, please don't worry, speak to me. Sushant Sareen, we see no such response. We see no such response and nobody understands why. Sushant Sareen. Sushant Sareen. Sushant Sareen. Sushant Sareen.
Arnab, to be fair to Nawaz Sharif, I don't think he was in a position to really respond to what the Prime Minister said, because it was actually calling the bluff of the Pakistanis. I think in the interview with you, what Prime Minister Modi was saying was that he was expressing his deep skepticism. He said that he was engaged with the civilian government, with the elected government, but then, his skepticism about the utility of that engagement, I think came pouring out when he gave the comment on the Lakshman Rekha. Just one point of carping with what the Prime Minister said. I don't think he needs to decide what India's Lakshman Rekha is depending upon whom he talks to in Pakistan. But aside of that, I think that skepticism has come pouring out, and what he has done is the smart thing. All the people like me have been kind of slightly opposed to his outreach to Pakistan, because we knew nothing would come out of it. But I think what he's done is the smart thing by giving them a long enough rope to hang themselves. And when he says on your interview that, look, now nobody in the world, asks us that why don't you engage with the Pakistanis. I think he's still open to engaging with them. But the problem is, and it goes before Mr. Modi came into power. Let's talk about 2014, early 2014. The Indian government under the UPA actually leaned over backwards, making trade concessions to the Pakistanis. I think it was in February 2014. And Nawaz Sharif had signed on the agreement, and then he resigned from it. And it is very, very well known that the Pakistan army leaned upon him because they did not want to open the trade route. You go on to UFA, again the engagement process starts, and which, to the credit of the Indian Prime Minister, at least 5 or 6 times he has taken the initiative to restart some kind of an engagement with the Pakistanis. So UFA, they agree on a template, and Nawaz Sharif goes back, he is hounded, he is supposed to back off, and to make sure that the engagement process does not go ahead, we had the attacks in Gurdaspur and in Udhampur. So, that is the kind of trend lines we have seen. And if anybody who follows the Pakistani media, the Pakistani public opinion, the Pakistani public discourse, I think it is very, very clear that on all the major foreign policy issues, there is absolutely a complete disconnect between the civilian government and the line which they would like to try, and what the army is trying to force upon them. And I think that is what the Prime Minister of India laid out in your interview. Now for the Pakistanis to act in such a rattled manner and to use the kind of language, despicable language which these people do, although it does not surprise me at all that they use this kind of language, but for them to use this kind of language clearly shows how rattled they are, because the truth has been shown to them.
Group Captain Sultan Hali should go back and think about the language he used. He should think about his conduct on a public platform. As I said, I will not respond to him. It just shows the way, in the manner of disgraceful conduct that does not deserve a response. Maroof wanted to add something to that. Yes, Maroof, please.
Yeah, Arnab, I just want, although the Pakistani panel is made up of all service officers, and they exactly know the clout the military establishment enjoys in Pakistan, but I would like to jog their memory a bit by reminding them of 2-3 books written by Pakistani authors. Aisha Siddiqa's Military INC, Hussain Haqqani's book Between the Military and the Mullah Pakistan, and more recently a book by Christine Fair on the Pakistan Army. Now, there are several other documents which have very clearly documented the clout the Pakistan Army enjoys on foreign policy, and it is also a recorded fact that Benazir Bhutto was not allowed to be sworn in on a second term for 5 days till she gave an assurance that she will not dabble in sacred areas such as foreign policy on India, China, Afghanistan, nuclear issues and United States. Ab uske baad bhi, if they keep insisting that, their military is not interfering with foreign policy, I'm sorry. The second point to understand is that they said, what efforts have we made? Sir, please hear me out. Efforts, our Prime Minister has gone to your country. Our foreign minister has gone to your country. Our foreign secretary has gone to your country. We've had an UFA agreement which you backtracked on. We had a comprehensive dialogue agreement which you backtracked on. We are doing everything possible. We are inviting you to see the evidence. You go back after Pathankot and you say that you have shown you nothing. So, sir, the fact of the matter is, and don't remind me of the F-16 deal. F-16 deal was called off because you couldn't pay for it. We told the Americans, if they want to buy it, let them pay for it. Don't give it to them as freebies. Now, if you
That's
can't
right.
pay for
Abid
something,
Rao.
feel
Abid
bad
Rao.
about
Call
it
that
yourself.
mix up
Don't
to
blame
Abid Rao
India.
is back on the
Maroof,
debate.
listen to me.
Yeah.
All armed forces of the
And
world
just
have a
one
say
point.
in the foreign policy of that
Terrorism
country.
cannot become an entitlement.
Pakistan
for
also
holding
has
that
it.
with India.
Indian army also has a say.
No, the
in
Indian
us,
army
sir,
does not have a
not
say.
us.
When it comes to
Not
No,
us.
no, not at all.
We are
Indian
model-
government,
Jal
we are
Bakshi
model-
wanted to
No,
set
no,
up
no,
a
Jal
no.
Bakshi.
It was
We are
called by
model-
Indian army
Sorry,
at that
sir.
time.
You have no idea.
It is
Or-
the
or not.
minus of
We
Air
are
Marshal
model-
Abid Rao.
we are
It is
modeled
not a
on the
question. Air
Westminster
Marshal Abid
model.
Rao.
We
Armed
follow
forces
the
to me.
American model,
Air Marshal
and the
Abid
military. And the military has no say in foreign policy except giving military inputs.
Air Marshal Abid Rao.
No, there are
I
security
would like
concerns.
to remind
Military
you,
input is all
if
about
you just
security.
want to understand, you know, all the other countries of the world, the countries have an army. It is written about Pakistan, that Pakistan is an army that has a state. Please don't forget that as late as the end of
Doesn't
May
matter.
this year,
We still
your army did
have
not permit
our
Nawaz
Shafqat
Sharif
Saeed
to go
policy.
to Washington
We still have our government.
to
We
attend the
still have
nuclear
our
security summit.
pacts with so many other countries.
No, the
Air
point
Marshal
is-
Abid Rao, please, one second.
I mean,
one
on
second,
the,
please, Air
on
Marshal
the
Abid
decent
Rao.
size.
Air
Air
Marshal.
Marshal Abid Rao,
Listen,
I
please,
find you one
have
of
you
the more
exhausted all
reasonable
other levels
people
of talks
on
that you
the
have straight away come
Pakistani
to the
panel.
Prime Minister level?
Yes, yes, we have.
Excuse me.
Yes, we have.
Air
And good-
Marshal Abid Rao.
Yes, we have.
Air
Yes, we
Marshal
have.
Abid
One
Rao.
second.
Just
one second.
listen, hear me out.
Yeah.
Kindly hear me out. Air Marshal Abid Rao, you are one of the more reasonable people on the Pakistani panel. You have said, why don't we continue the Foreign Secretary's talk? Air Marshal, how can you, how can you condescend to a situation where we make outreach for talk, you respond with terrorist attacks, you respond with heavy cost
And so did you.
casualties. Which sensible state will accept
Kulbhushan Yadav
this?
is apprehended in
Which sensible
Balochistan.
state will accept
Much
this?
after Pathankot
Shafqat
happened,
Saeed,
where we
article
are
of faith.
Shafqat Saeed, Shafqat Saeed.
It is your allegation.
No, no,
Not yet
what-
proven.
Right.
But we have
What-
Maroof is back on the debate. Maroof,
You
Your
not can
Baluch
answer the
insurgency-
Maroof,
Your Baluch insurgency has been there from the times of Bhutto.
It has
Yeah.
continued.
Your
all
Baluch
these 30
insurgency
years.
has been there since independence. Kulbhushan Yadav wasn't even born then. You are blaming it all on one naval officer when your insurgency has
I'm
been
talking
there for
about the
70
latest
years. You
incident.
use the Iranian
I'm talking
jets
about the
to bomb the
recency of
Baluchis.
the Indian
Musharraf
terrorist
used
attack.
attack helicopters
Balochis
to
people are
bomb
our people.
Nawab
They have nothing to do
Bukti,
with
and he
India.
said, I've stopped the problem 500%.
Oh, forget about
He
Nawab
has
Bukti.
created a problem which is 500% bigger
Forget
now.
about him.
I want,
I
mean, that is not our
one
issue
second,
at all.
just one
That is
minute,
not at all our
just a
issue.
minute, just a minute, gentlemen, just pull back, stop a while and answer my question. What did the Prime Minister of India say? The Prime Minister of India said, who do I speak to? Do I speak to a civilian government,
They should send
or
his
do I,
foreign
please let me
secretary to our
complete
foreign
my
secretary,
point.
call our
Please
foreign
let me
secretary there,
complete my
then go
point
to the
now,
other
Abid Rao.
level, and then
I
go to
stayed
his own
away
level.
from the debate and I am coming back to this debate, and the gentleman who's holding up his hand will be allowed to participate provided he indulges in a reasonable debate and not abuse. The question is simply this, that what did the Prime Minister of India say? The Prime Minister of India says, please make it clear to me who I should be talking to, the civilian government or other players. Any self-respecting country should come back and say that
should
of
write a
course you
letter to
should be
Islamabad and he'll
speaking.
get a response.
Abid Rao, I heard you. Of course, Nawaz
get a
Sharif or his office or the Prime Minister of Pakistan's office should come out and say you should be speaking only to us. Now the fact of the matter is this. Nawaz Sharif, may he have good health, does not have the guts to ask even one officer in his office to go ahead and say the Prime Minister of India has issued a statement through an interview. Please go ahead and say the Prime Minister of Pakistan is the right person to speak to. But he can't because of the level of cowardice that is at the heart of your Pakistani civilian establishment, because in your country, 5 days after the Pathankot attack, the same Nawaz Sharif held a meeting in Islamabad with members of the intelligence and army on how to proceed with the Pathankot investigation. and you say it's beyond perception. How is it beyond perception when Nawaz Sharif held in-depth consultations with the army chief and the ISI to discuss and seek suggestions on the agenda to be discussed with India prior to the foreign secretary level talks of 2015? This is a textbook example of your army dictating your foreign policy. This happens only in Pakistan. It does not happen in India. We are asking you to change yourself. Sushant Sareen is taking the debate forward, and Sushant Sareen can take the debate forward, and I guess from Islamabad will respond. Sushant Sareen.
This has again appeared in the Pakistani media. This has again appeared in the Pakistani media that the day Nawaz Sharif was leaving for Sri Lanka, he was overheard telling some of his close, associates that look, every time an initiative with India seems to be getting somewhere or seems to be kick-started, these guys do something like what happened in Pathankot. Now, that is a very clear indication of the kind of deep disconnect which exists between the army and the civilian government. Now, the problem really is that the civilian government puts forward, the army puts forward the civilian government to interact with everybody, but they call the shots from behind like puppeteers, of the show. Now, the problem is that, and this is what the Prime Minister is saying, that if I talk to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, am I getting what he's telling me? Or is what he's going to tell me, somebody is going to make him change his tune the moment he goes back? So there is really no credibility as far as the Pakistani civilian government is concerned. And that credibility deficit needs to be addressed by the Pakistani side, which clearly they're not going to be able to do, because as it is, Mr. Nawaz Sharif is already once again his back to the wall. So I don't think he will have the wriggle room to actually show that he is the boss, which clearly he is not.
No, where is the Pakistan Prime Minister? Where is the civilian leadership? Why are they not responding to Prime Minister Narendra Modi? And to say, Maroof, to say it's a problem of perception in a country where terrorists like Zakir Rahman, Lakhvi mastermind of 2611 are roaming freely on their soil. And all the Prime Minister of India is saying, please tell me who I should be speaking to. If you want me to resume a dialogue, not one word. And viewers, please note tonight that apart from the venomous abuse, the low-level disgraceful language used by one of the panelists on the program this evening on the Newshour, which I hoped that the other Pakistani panelists would tell him to mind his language, but they have not. Apart from that, not one response from our Pakistani panelists tonight. Not one. On why the Pakistani Prime Minister and his office has gone missing after what Narendra Modi said. After the Prime Minister's interview, the Pakistani Prime Minister's office is hiding. Maroof Raza, please. Maroof. Yes, Maroof.
That is half-truth.
Yes, Maroof.
The Prime Minister is away for medical
Well, where is the rest of your government? Why don't they respond to the specific question raised by the Prime Minister?
I will agree with you.
Abid Rao Saab, Arnab, my submission is to Air Marshal Abid Rao and the other senior officers, and they are very conversant with Pakistan's history, but let me just jog their memory. The only two occasions in Pakistan's history when a civilian leader had the clout to move things in a direction he wanted to, one was Jinnah Saab, who was the undisputed leader of Pakistan, but his life was very short after he became that. The other was Zulfikar Bhutto after the army had suffered a drubbing in the 71 war. But even Bhutto decided to take Pakistan into a one-party state, and finally the army got the better of him. As one Indian political sympathizer of the Pakistanis said, that from Chief India Beta to Chief Martial Law Administrator, he became Pakistan's Chief Shaheed. Other than that, there has been nobody in Pakistan's political history who calls the shots. So for them to say that you have an elected Prime Minister and we should talk to him, please come up with a better argument. Maybe you can do what Zia did, that you create a synergy between the civilians and the military, and you talk to the world with a diarchy of military and civilian leadership, then the world knows that at least we are getting somewhere.
No. And 7 more minutes on the debate. The question is simple. If you're not shying away from dialogue, go ahead and ban the Jamaat-ud-Dawa. If you're not shying from dialogue, go ahead and bring the mastermind of 2611 to book. Don't hesitate to allow India's National Investigating Agency to go to Pakistan and investigate Pathankot. my simple question tonight, it appears, Colonel Shafqat Saeed.
Arnab, I agree with you.
Shafqat Saeed, my question to you is, that if the Pakistan government is unable to respond, why is the Pakistan government?
Don't want peace.
So listen, Shafqat Saeed ji. Listen to me, sir. Just one question, and let's look at this. Why has Prime Minister Narendra Modi silenced you by asking you a simple question? Please tell me who I should be speaking to. Has he silenced you?
Okay.
You just say you should be speaking to so and so. Your government is unable to answer one question of the Prime Minister that he's asking you. He's not the Foreign Minister of India.
No, I told
He's not the Foreign Secretary of India. He's not an Under Secretary in the Foreign Affairs Ministry. The Prime Minister of India is asking the government of Pakistan, please tell me who I should be talking to. You can't say we have been silenced, Mr. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, by your question. You know how it's looking right now?
No,
it's looking like you have no response. It's looking like Modi silenced the whole lot of you.
On his part.
Come on now, where is your aggression now? Where is your aggression? Where is your conviction? And where are your facts? One question from the Prime Minister of India and Shafqat Saeed, zero response. Lips sealed. A zip's been put on the Pakistanis tonight. एक शब्द नहीं बोल पा रहे, एक लफ्ज नहीं बोल पा रहे आप response में कि किसके साथ बात करनी चाहिए. आप बताइए Colonel Shafqat Saeed. Respond with one word. Now you'll say I can't listen to your question as well. Now you'll say I can't listen to your response as well. 1,000 times on the program tonight, Abid Rao, this question will be asked. Has Prime Minister Narendra Modi silenced you? With one simple question. Who should I be talking to?
Write a letter to government of Pakistan,
please,
and you will get an answer.
That question was to the government of Pakistan. Who do you think he was addressing in that interview? Pardon me? Write a letter? It's absurd. What is this? Write a letter, General Bakshi? Have you heard about it? You want the Prime Minister of India to write a letter now? I mean, come on, Sushant Sareen is laughing.
Write letters for all these meetings to be fixed.
Not one response tonight. Not one response.
He has given them a long rope to hang themselves. The Pakistani state has been given all the leeway it could possibly ask for.
You people get satisfied with cheap language.
The present government has invested a tremendous amount of political capital in its outreach to the democratic dispensation in Pakistan, even when most of us here in this country were very, very forlorn about the chances of even the remote chance of success. The Pakistanis have proved it beyond any shadow of doubt. They are a schizoid
Simple question.
They are a schizophrenic state.
Simple
question. The moment they get the feeling the Pakistanis...
Come on, Sushil Pandit, Shafqat Saeed. Sushil Pandit, Shafqat Saeed, please. Not one word response.
They hit out.
Arnab, I think it's
Sushil Pandit and Shafqat Saeed, then we're closing the debate. Not a word in response tonight from any of our Pakistani panelists to a one question of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It appears he silenced a whole lot of them.
This situation is not new.
But yes.
This has been an ongoing situation. It suits Pakistan, as Maroof also mentioned post Bhutto. It gives Pakistani civilian administration a deniability, though they will never ever admit to the fact that they have no
Shafqat Saeed, Group Captain Hali.
policy is concerned vis-a-vis India. It gives them deniability. It also gives them room and cushion to maneuver. Every time there is an attack, they mention about non-state actors who are within nobody's control. I think we must get it very clear. If Pakistani civilian administration has abdicated in favor of their military, then they have done so. It is an arrangement between the two. If
your political government has abdicated,
and
surrendered to NSA, National Security Advisor,
to say that we
he is running your internal and external policy.
It means that they are allowing them to operate from their territory and act against India. It is a balance.
Yes, Group Captain Hali, I give you an opportunity. Go ahead.
And we must see the state as one entity. Who has decided and divided roles among themselves.
No, one second. Yes, Captain Ali, I can't hear you. 1 second. Group Captain Ali, what are you saying?
Their enemy number
Group Captain Ali, what are you saying? Yes,
I am saying that I would like to render my apology to you and to your viewers.
1 second, I am not hearing you. 1 second, can I have him on air, please? Yes, please.
And it is time.
Yes, please. So 1 second, Sushil. Sushil, 1 second. Sushil, 1 second. Yes, please. I didn't hear you. Go on.
I'm saying that I would like to render my apology to you, to your panelists and to your viewers for my outburst. It was uncalled for.
I accept your apology, Group Captain Hali.
Thank you.
I accept your apology.
Now, the answer to your question is, thank you so much. Thank you for your magnanimity. Now, I would like to say that the answer to your question is that the Prime Minister of India should logically be speaking to the Prime Minister of Pakistan the moment he comes out from recuperation. As far as Pakistan is concerned, there is no duality of power. And the Prime Minister of Pakistan is actually calling the shots. It is for Narendra Modi to, the taste of the pudding is in the taste. So let him try it out. Talk to Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. I'm sure he will find a befitting response.
I would also like to now add here, and I would let Maroof close this, that it is necessary that when a very serious question is raised, not by a middle ranking or senior functionary, but the Prime Minister of the democratically elected government of the most populous, largest democracy in the world, that is India, when he raises a question, please tell me who I should be speaking to, then I think it would be fitting for the Prime Minister of Pakistan or someone in his office to come out and say unequivocally that please speak to me, or please retain your engagement with us. There are no other actors who are of any consequence in Pakistan. I think the day Maroof, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, says that, it will be good for Pakistani democracy. We are only confounded by why that point has not been made affirmatively by the government of Pakistan, duly elected by the people, and not by the generals in Rawalpindi. Maroof, last response please to the point which Group Captain Hali made.
They haven't got the nod from Rawalpindi.
That's the point, Sushant. Yes, Maroof.
Arnab, I'm glad that Group Captain apologized. I think it settles the matter there. But I think more importantly, the message that will go out to the international community that Pakistan has finally turned the corner as a democracy is to do exactly what you are saying when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif himself gives a statement that the world should engage with him, and at worst, what can happen? At worst, if he loses his job, then it establishes to the world that it is the military in Pakistan which is not supportive of democracy. Now, if there is no ambiguity on the subject and he is allowed to make that statement and get on with it, then the world knows who to engage with. Unfortunately, historical evidence has shown that this kind of affirmative statement has never come from Pakistan's leadership after the mid-70s until when Bhutto held sway in Pakistan's politics. Since then, nobody has come out, and we may remember that both Nawaz Sharif and even successive other prime ministers of Pakistan were initially the proteges of the army. Nawaz Sharif himself was finance minister of Ziaul Haq. So for them to challenge their mentors is a difficult thing. But if they do that, then I think it will be a great day in Pakistan's entire history, and for the world to then engage with what Pakistanis they continue to insist is their duty elected government. We would like to engage with them. Give us half a chance, but give us a signal.
I think everybody would like to engage at the right level with the right people and towards the right conclusion, not engage inconclusively. Gentlemen, I thank you all for joining me from Karachi, Islamabad and New Delhi on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.